Back to England and Wales, this man, Captain Edwards, spent his lifetime developing a small, game and active terrier suitable to keep pace with his otter-hound pack across the rocky environment which surrounded the River Sealy. This became the Sealyham Terrier, renowned as a badger hunter without equal. The foundation stock used was the small, smooth-haired, low-to-ground cattle dog of Pembrokeshire, the Welsh Corgi, crossed with the rough-haired terrier, these two being early pillars of the breed. Other crosses were also used for increased gameness and strength of jaw. Although Captain Edwards held the first exhibitions for Sealyhams, dog shows themselves soon altered this working terrier. As with the fox terrier, the exhibition of the Sealyham soon made him extremely popular as a show dog and as a pet. After the First World War, working certificates for Sealyhams were made available. Despite this, the Sealyham still became larger, more cumbersome and less agile than the working terrier he was originally designed to be. Today, the Sealyham Terrier is an oblong-shaped dog whose breed standard asks for great substance in a small compass. He is an active, free-moving terrier whose gait is brisk and vigorous, with plenty of drive. At a height of not exceeding 12 inches and a weight of just 18 to 20 pounds, the Sealyham is not as heavily built as he appears, nor should he be as low to ground as the modern Scottish Terrier. Instead, although his chest is broad and deep, it should never be so excessive as to interfere with the straight forelegs that should always point directly ahead. The elbows are set close to the sides of the chest and well under the body in line with the withers. His hindquarters are strong and powerful, as is his head. The Sealyham has an extremely punishing square jaw with a correspondingly wide skull. The Sealyham is always a white dog, with markings usually confined to the head and ears. He has a long, hard, wiry coat with a weather-resisting undercoat. A deeper understanding of the construction of this sturdy, game, workmanlike terrier can be gained when one considers what is involved with digging out a badger, work for which the Sealyham was originally designed to do. Badger digs have been recorded as early as the 16th century. The badger, a nocturnal animal, lives in a series of tunnels called a set. One set could have a mouth 2 feet high, cover an area of 1 acre, go down 3 levels in a maze of tunnels with interconnecting chambers every few yards, and have bedrooms lined with moss, grass and/or reeds. When mature, badger cubs build another bedroom, usually within the same set, so extending it. Once dug out, these sets become a haven for rats, rabbits, foxes and other creatures that live underground. These sets can cause damage to farmlands, roads and foundations of buildings should the set extend beneath them. Badger digs relocated badgers. 1 or more terriers were released into the occupied set. Good terriers would find the badger quickly and give voice or bark only when a badger, but no other quarry, was found. As badgers have very large teeth and claws, clever terriers learned how to keep their distance and not get hurt. Their job was to prevent the badger from digging away from that particular spot. So if the badger retreated, the terriers would give it a nip, This made the badger turn around and charge at the terriers. These alternate charges and retreats could continue for several hours. The continual barking of the terriers would assist the hunter to locate terriers and the badger. The actual digging of the badger out of the set was a very skillful operation, and all types of digging implements were purpose-made over the centuries. When disturbed, sets could collapse, suffocating both dogs and badger. Alternatively, escape routes could be opened up. So a successful dig concluded with the badger being brought to the surface of the set with a pair of tongs and placed in a bag. From there it could be relocated to an area where it was less likely to cause damage. These are the actual entrants that took part in one of the many badger trials held last century. Certificates of gameness used to be awarded if the dog was pronounced 100% game. This particular badger trial was attended by Mr. Les Greenall.
Sometimes the dog will fight the badger instead of drawing him. And if he fights the badger for 5 minutes, he's pronounced 100% game. Most dogs try to draw the badger out because they feel happier getting him out in the daylight. However, when the badger's coming into the daylight, he fights the hardest. That's when he hits the dog with everything. Claws, teeth, whatever he can.
So the trial ends and the dog's pronounced game at what point?
He's pronounced game when he draws the badger out of the set into the open, or if he fights him for 5 minutes down at the bottom of the set.
And if he fights him for 5 minutes down the bottom of the set, what happens then?
Well, then they open the trapdoor, which is over the top of the set, and they take out the dog and the badger with a long pair of iron tongs. Today, badgers are protected in Britain, and it is an offence to disturb them or their sets. However, badger digs have left us with the legacy of exceptionally game terriers whose intelligence, courage, tenacity and sheer delight in pleasing their owners deserves a place in modern society.